from our 7 Tasmania studios. Your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A Launceston jury has heard how a stolen car caused an alleged murderer to become obsessed with a man he'd never met. Mark Rodney Jones has pleaded not guilty to the murder of Bradley Breward, who was allegedly suffocated with a plastic bag. Our reporter Sean McComish has more.
Mark Rodney Jones sat in the dock occasionally taking notes as prosecutors detailed how he allegedly tracked down and murdered a man he believed had stolen his car. In December 2016, Mr Jones placed his Nissan Patrol with a for sale sign near the Westbury overpass in Prospect. Days later, he returned to find it gone. Over the coming weeks, he attempted to find Mr Breward, who he believed had stolen it. And on New Year's Day 2017, Mr Jones and co-accused Ricky Izard went to a home in Newnham, where they found Mr Breward asleep on a couch. It's alleged he then waterboarded the 22-year-old and repeatedly held a plastic bag over his head. Prosecutor Darryl Coates said it was on the final occasion he did this that Mr Breward died, adding that the accused tortured the deceased to death, and all of this was over a missing car. The pair then allegedly stuffed the body in an empty beanbag and, using weights and an inflatable boat, dumped it in Lake Eugenia. When interviewed by police in February, Mr Jones allegedly admitted to the killing and the cover-up. Defence lawyer Greg Richardson said it never entered the accused's mind to kill Mr Breward. What he had wanted was information. In opening submissions, the defence also argued it wasn't the facts of the case that were in dispute, but rather the legal consequences that flow from it. The trial continues tomorrow.
A coroner is calling for an urgent review of a set of traffic lights after the death of a pedestrian in Hobart almost 3 years ago. Wendy Ann Evans was killed by a Metro bus as she crossed Campbell Street on July 22nd, 2016. The driver was later charged with negligent driving causing death and was given a 3-month suspended sentence. In his findings, Coroner Simon Cooper said the collision unfolded when both Ms Evans and the bus responded to green traffic and pedestrian lights, but added the driver had ample opportunity to see Ms Evans before the tragedy. In a statement, the Department of State Growth said it would review the signals at the intersection. A man who pleaded guilty to scamming a Tasmanian woman into paying him money to help fund his TV show has appeared in the Launceston Magistrates Court. Kane Scott Dallow was due to be sentenced, but the magistrate advised him to seek the services of a lawyer, warning he risks facing prison time.
Arriving at court with his own cameraman, Kane Dallow remained tight-lipped.
How are you feeling going in today?
Dallow was facing sentencing after pleading guilty to 1 count of dishonestly acquiring financial advantage. The court heard last year he posed as a television employee, befriended a Tasmanian couple and then convinced the woman to pay him $5,000 to help fund his TV show titled Your Tassie. Prosecution argued Dallow has, over a 25-year period, established a record for this type of offending, saying 2 warrants remain for him in South Australia and that he has another prior matter recorded with the Australian Federal Police. Magistrate Sharon Cure said out of caution she was not prepared to sentence the defendant today, given that he was unrepresented by a lawyer. Prosecution also telling the court his history of offending warranted a term of imprisonment. Upon leaving the court, the defendant had a little more to say.
So I'd be very cautious in what you're doing. Get your hand off me. Be very cautious in what you're doing and what you're reporting on. Don't touch the car.
The magistrate said she was thinking a suspended sentence would be appropriate in this case. Until it was revealed by prosecution, Dallow had previously received one for other matters in Victoria. The sentence will now be handed down next month. Jessie Gilmore, 7 Tasmania News.
New research conducted by the Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission has revealed an alarming spike in the use of illicit and legal drugs here in Tasmania. But those dealing with addiction are urging caution, saying much of the data confirms what is already known among those on the front line.
The 7th report by the Commission analysed wastewater from 3 capital city sites and 2 regional sites in December 2018. It found a statewide increase in the use of nicotine and methamphetamine, while MDMA, oxycodone and fentanyl use went up in Hobart but down elsewhere. But the Alcohol, Tobacco and Other Drugs Council warns it doesn't tell the full story.
They are taking a sample from one sewage plant, and from those results it doesn't actually tell us who's using the drugs, how they're using the drugs, or indeed how many people are using the drugs, because it's all done on volume.
In better news, the report also revealing a statewide reduction in heroin and cannabis use. Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission CEO Michael Phelan says the program gives a valuable insight into emerging issues of drug consumption and is a guiding tool for developing holistic drug responses.
Data such as this is also important when it comes to ensuring we get the information, and so we can break the supply of illicit drugs and harmful substances.
Labor says data collected by the Criminal Intelligence Commission shouldn't be used to lock up addicts.
Drug addiction is a health issue, and programs should be focused on addressing that health issue and supporting people in our community through early intervention and through prevention.
Meanwhile, experts are warning it's the legal drugs Tasmanians should be most worried about.
One of the biggest misconceptions here in Tasmania and across the nation is that our biggest drug issues are about illegal drugs, but here in Tasmania and in Hobart, alcohol continues to be the main drug of concern, particularly for people seeking treatment, and also in particular in regards to the impact it has in our communities.
Andrew McCarthy, 7 Tasmania News.
All eyes will be on the skies above King Island on Wednesday night, with local high school students getting a once-in-a-lifetime chance to communicate with the International Space Station using amateur radio. Just before 7 p.m, they'll interview Canadian astronaut David St. Jacques, who's been orbiting Earth since December 2018. The contact will be conducted from the grounds of the King Island District High School. A regional school on Tasmania's east coast has received a $5 million boost to its facilities. The upgrades are hoped to encourage more students to complete their education all the way to Year 12.
These students are showcasing their musical talent on a brand new stage. This added performance space is part of a major redevelopment unveiled today at St Mary's District School.
Everything is new and it's really creating a different kind of environment to work in. It's wonderful.
The $5 million boost has gone into upgraded classrooms, a new library and improved amenities across the campus.
It's great to see that this school community, this rural and regional community, where some students have to travel some distance to access their education, and it's great now that when they arrive that they can learn in modern facilities.
The school recently expanded to years 11 and 12, and the principal says she's determined to get more students finishing their education.
Our next focus is to really try and build that so that we are offering a wide range of courses and keeping our students in the local area.
I've been here since kinder, and to just see how much it's transformed and grown, it's just been amazing. It's so beneficial for everyone. It makes you want to come to school.
St Mary's District School teaches students from all over the East Coast, spanning from Scamander to Coles Bay, and it's hoped the new upgrades will bring in even more to the school.
To have a facility like this in St Mary's shows that our school and our students are as good as any students anywhere, as is the education program that we provide for them.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
New research by the University of Tasmania is warning the state's population will shrink by the middle of the century and bring with it a host of economic and social challenges as people age. Demographer Dr. Lisa Denny says there's no evidence any government policy now or in the future can reverse the trend.
The Tasmanian government's target of 650,000 by 2050 is a very ambitious target and unlikely to be achieved under current circumstances. But what they have done is acknowledged that the population ageing and projected decline exists, and have tried to do something about it.
At a local level, Dr. Denny says the North East and Western local government regions are the areas most at risk, while Greater Hobart is expected to grow due to higher migration. Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local not-for-profit Tasmanian super fund. The Australian stock market has moved lower amid losses for the big mining companies. The ASX 200 index fell 23.1 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 68.77 US cents and 74.69 Japanese yen.
To the TSL, and the Kingborough Tigers will get the chance to edge closer to playing in their first ever final series when they take on Clarence this weekend. And one of the club's rising stars says the club is confident they can match it with the top sides come September. The weekend's hard-fought victory over the D's saw the Tigers go 2 wins clear of Clarence in the race for finals.
Obviously, it's on the back of all of our minds. I mean, this is our 6th year now, and we haven't made finals, so this is probably the year we're all thinking, sorry, boys. The group will look to capitalise on the Roos' lacklustre form at Blunston Arena this Saturday and strengthen its case for September. But with 10 rounds of footy still to play, the Tigers' young gun is well aware that now isn't the time for complacency. I think a real key for us, though, is to try and knock off one of the big 4, I reckon, and that's what we'll keep challenging ourselves to do. I think we're really building something there, and we all know we've got the list now to get some good success. North Launceston still remain the pick for many punters following their 69-point drubbing over the Blues. But the Bombers coach is keeping the group grounded, still hopeful their best footy is yet to come.
Started to get some form together, which is good, but we've got North Hobart this week and then obviously Lauderdale and Glenorchy post that. So it's okay to be playing good footy now, but you've got to continue that right through the back end of the season.
And the votes are in for the RACT Insurance Player of the Year after round 11, with Jay Foon claiming the 3 votes during the reigning Premier's dominant win over the Blues. Lauderdale ruckman Hayden Smith continued to impress for the Southern Bombers in their 70-point thrashing of Clarence. And rising star Lockie Griggs was the standout for the Tigers against the D's at North Hobart Oval. To the leaderboard, and Smith is now 1 vote clear of North Launceston skipper Brad Cox-Goodyear on 11 votes. Tasmanian hockey star Eddie Ockenden has brought up an incredible milestone in style, with the Kookaburras getting up against Germany overnight and qualifying for the FIH Pro League final along the way. He's done just about everything imaginable in the sport, and last night in Germany, Tasmanian Eddie Ockenden added playing 350 games for his country to the list of achievements. It took the Aussie a while to rise to the occasion, however, not finding the back of the net until the second half, courtesy of Tom Craig, before Blake Govers made it a 2-goal difference. The Germans answered back but couldn't find the equaliser as the Aussies earned themselves a spot in the Pro League finals. They now prepare to take on world number 1 Belgium in Antwerp next Wednesday. To cycling, and Richie Port has shifted his focus to next month's Tour de France after a strong showing in the final stage of the Criterium du Dauphiné that saw him finish up just behind the peloton, while fellow Tasmanian Will Clark is set for a lengthy stint off the bike after fracturing his collarbone during a dramatic crash in the final stage of the Belgium Tour. King Island's Stuart McSwain continued his push for Olympic selection overnight, running a season best time of 3 minutes and 36 seconds in the 1500 metres at the Diamond League meet in Morocco. But it was a race to forget for Dan Watkins at the Canoe Slalom World Cup in London, with the Hobart paddler incurring several big penalties during the K1 final to see him slip out of medal contention.
Good evening. Temperatures ranged from a chilly -4 at Fingal to Friendly Beach's high of 17 today. Hobart made it to 12, Launceston 13, Burnie 15 degrees and Devonport 14. Fine today apart from showers over the north and west. Mount Arthur the highest fall today with 5 millimetres. Smithton and the Bass Strait Islands 16 degrees. St Helens and Strawn 15, Lowhead 14. 8 the high for Ouse and Lyowini after both started in negative territory. A northwesterly airstream pushed cloud across the north and west today. Some high cloud drifted over as well. A cold front is moving across the Bight with a cold pool of air following. Patchy cloud is over South Australia. Thunderstorm activity offshore from southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. Tomorrow the cold front moves over Tasmania and Victoria. Low pressure zones are over the Tasman Sea with a high sliding over the Bight. North to northwesterly winds reaching up to 20 to 30 knots around the coastline tomorrow. Lighter winds inland, swells up to 4 metres in western and southern waters. So we do have a strong wind warning for all Tasmanian coastal waters and a small craft wind alert for the southwest lakes. Tuesday for Hobart 13 with showers developing, 11 the top for Adventure Bay and just 8 tomorrow for Tarraleah. Launceston, a high of 13 with showers on the way. Showers for Devonport on 13 as well and Bridport with 12. Burnie, a shower or two and 13 the top. 11 for Strawn with showers in the west. Marrawar 12. And 14 the high for St Helens and Swansea, along with Whitemark, with showers developing later in the day. On Wednesday, showers over the west and south, possibly falling as hail. Snow above 700 metres. Fine and partly cloudy for most on Thursday, but showers over the west again and snow to 800 metres. And on Friday, showers over the west and south and possibly central areas. A morning frost as well and fine for the remainder. Mostly sunny in Perth tomorrow. A possible shower for Adelaide, showers for Melbourne and just 13 degrees. An afternoon shower for Sydney, but sunny weather further north. A little bit of cloud over Hobart. It's 9 degrees at the moment, 11, and mostly cloudy in Launceston, cloudy in Devonport as well, and 12 degrees. And just checking, Joe, lots of good comments coming in on your outfit tonight, and your messy hair look is working really, really well. A great start to the week.
Oh, you're a treasure. Thank you very much, Murph. That's all from the team for now. We'll see you a little later with updates. Thanks so much for your company. Bye-bye.